Okay. Sup?
Noxious.
Obnoxious. Turn off camera.
Ugh, sweet King Martin.
You tired?
No, this episode's just gonna be really, really wonky.
Okay. So, have you talked to anybody who actually has watched the show live?
No.
Damn it. Sophie's trying to watch it live, and I can't figure out. She's like, "How do I do it?" And it's like, "Oh, I have no idea. I've
Didn't
always
you
been
just
on the
okay, if you're
show."
broadcasting live, shouldn't you just go to the YouTube channel? It should be there. Because
Um,
I tried to play around with the idea of watching it like kind of unfold as it's unfolding.
how? You're on the show.
Yeah, yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on.
But I don't need to be like I'm on the show, but the YouTube is a separate thing.
So you're on the Solve It page, right? There should be
Oh
a
yeah,
video.
to do that.
There should be a video that is just like, it says like live stream.
Yeah. So I just went to Solve It Podcast on YouTube and uh
Zach's figuring it out at
let's
the same
see.
time. I don't know. I would assume I'll also get on YouTube. All three of us are all on YouTube.
Yeah, because it says
We
Solid
never-
Podcast and it says live now under it.
okay. Now we can all hear each other. So what did you say, Zach?
Um oh here we go.
Solve
Good.
it.
I'm watching myself. That's
Okay.
really funny. I'm hearing you say things in the past.
Okay. So if you go to um, if you Google Solve It Podcast, or you go onto YouTube and search
Oh,
Solve It
no, 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 no.
Podcast.
I just went to YouTube and I typed in like Solid Podcast in the search bar.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the first thing that pops up is Solid Podcast, and on our picture it says live now, and you just kind of like wave your mouse above that.
Do you see that?
Um
You see that? Like,
or
okay. Well, I'll tell you. So it should, if you go to YouTube and type in Solve It Podcast in the search bar, a little picture of the pyramid should pop up. Do you see that? Okay, and it should say live now. And the first video is Solve It 16. Yep, there it is. Okay, cool. Okay, it should still it should have like kind of the pyramid logo on it,
mhm.
and okay. Well, it should. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you'll figure it out. All right. Love you. Bye.
Gay.
Boop.
Ooh, buddy.
Camera gone. Camera gone.
Man, if you if you thought the episode about the Quipus had a lot of things to pronounce, you are gonna be in for it for this episode.
Yeah. Oh, is it
I had
Swedish?
to learn several Swedish words.
Gross. Um,
Yeah, let's hit it. Hey everyone, welcome to Solve It. This is a podcast we talk about puzzles, codes, and the history of encryption. I'm Zach Johnson, and co-hosting me thous. Oh shoot, let me try that again. Hey everyone, welcome to Solve It. This is a podcast we talk about puzzles, codes, and the history of encryption. I'm Zach Johnson, and joining me as always is
What's
did you,
happening?
I don't know. Did you
Can you
say
hear
your
me?
name?
And I said, Zach, I said my name, and then you said is.
I did not hear you say anything. I just went like, for me it was, and joining me as always is, and it was just pure silence.
Total silence. Okay, well, I guess we'll run it again. I said my name, but it's fine.
Okay, cool. Hey everyone, welcome to Solve It. This is a podcast where we talk about puzzles, codes, and the history of encryption. I'm Zach Johnson, and joining me as always is my co-host.
Sam Cherry.
Hey Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing very well. To start this episode, I want to give just a few shout outs to some of our loyal listeners. I don't know if you are on the Instagram as much as me, Sam,
I'm not.
but some of our listeners, two in particular, I want to shout out just for their comments on our picture.
Too clean, man. Too clean.
Too clean. Yeah, always shout out to him. But I want to shout out Chivalry Bean. His comment said, put that rock somewhere where it can see over the fence and it'll be a rune with a view, which I thought was just like the perfect, like, bad dorky joke. And I actually laughed out loud. So shout out to you, Chivalry Bean, who has also been very section. And second, this other person, you didn't see this, but I wanted to say this to you personally because of I think that I am about to help you realize a dream of yours. This
Okay.
is a comment from Sniden Stricker, something like that. And the comment is, I'd like to invite you guys to join the American Cryptogram Association if you haven't already. And he talks about how like they send you puzzles and stuff. And I looked into this, and there actually is an American Cryptogram Association where if you like pay dues for like a year or something, they'll send you puzzles to solve.
That either sounds like my absolute dream or a scam from the internet.
Well,
You don't
that's
get
why
puzzles for a or you don't get puzzles for a year?
no. You like send you become a member of this association, and they
Oh.
send you puzzles.
The way you made it sound was that you have to pay dues for a year and then they'll send you a puzzle. It's like, no, we already have a show. We don't really we don't have a shortage of puzzles.
Yeah. No, but the puzzles that you can
That's
solve.
cool.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm on your level. But yeah,
Well,
this guy in our comments said that if we didn't want to become members, he'll just send you puzzles anyway. So might be a good idea to get in contact with him and just have him send you puzzles.
I think we would really be an official puzzle podcast and still probably the only puzzle podcast if we were part of the American Cryptogram Association.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say like Zach Johnson, Sam Cherry, members of the American Cryptogram Association. The
Yeah, I'm getting more into
ACA,
this as you
which
say
is
it.
what we call it to shorten it because we say it so often.
I'm sure the ACA is actually an organization that is really
No, they
doing
are. I
great
looked them
work.
up. I spent time researching this as well as spending time how to research how to pronounce Swedish words. I
Well,
also spent time researching the ACA.
well, I mean, like a group that isn't about making puzzles. I mean, like the ACA is probably like helping feed children in other countries, and
Oh yeah,
and we're using that for the puzzle thing. Put your phone on silent. Be a professional. Be a professional.
that is not. Oh, that is me. Never mind. Hold on.
Yes, it is. My phone is always on silent.
You know what the funny thing was? Is
What?
that was my phone reacting to the text you sent me a while ago. Because my phone is this thing where if I don't like I don't read it or whatever, like I can see it on the screen, but if I don't like actively open up my text messages and read it, it'll like keep beeping, be like, "Hey, I don't know if you saw or if you're ignoring me, but Sam said you ready?" Question mark.
I did.
Both those times where my phone reminded me, it's like, "Hey, by the way, Sam still said you ready?" Question mark.
That sounds terrible. Do you want to get into the puzzle this week? Oh, well, yes. Yeah, do you just want to go get in the puzzle?
Well, actually, no, I don't, because you speaking of you texting me, you sent me a text that I have been waiting to talk about on the show since I got it, which is you texted me. Uh, there is an update to the haunted mirror story, and I think that I and
Oh.
our listeners would really want to hear about that.
Well, it is a small update, but
But an update nonetheless.
I think as far as the mythology of the mirror, it's an important one. So, one important detail is that we have never figured out, is the mirror haunting the house, as in my new apartment, or my apartment? Is the mirror haunting the house, or is the mirror haunting me?
Hmm.
Because nothing bad happened until I moved into a house that had a similar mirror to the haunted one,
Yes.
and I have not lived in a house with that sort of bathroom arrangement since. And my college roommate Charlie came to Nashville this weekend to see me and actually go to Cameron's wedding, which I hate that I couldn't go to, but I couldn't. You were at Cam's wedding,
Yeah, I was.
correct? Gosh, how was it?
It was super fancy. Like it was an outdoor wedding. His bride, Caitlin, she came to the like the walk or whatever it's called, the line. She came to it by a horse and carriage
Oh,
because it was a fairy tale. It was like super
oh.
fancy, as you would expect from Cameron's wedding. At
Yeah,
one
yeah,
point,
yeah.
everyone when they like whenever they were running out, everyone sang the fight song because obviously.
Yeah.
And for our listeners that don't know Cameron, depending on if you cut this or not, we went to Western Kentucky University and they have this fight song, which is really
Every
cool.
school has a fight song. Yeah,
Yeah,
never
yeah,
mind.
but
Go ahead.
like we had this fight song that's really cool. But when you sing it 19,000 times in a row, it's very annoying.
Yeah.
And this guy that got married, we actually both lived with this guy at one point. Um, he would sing this fight song all the time, and so
Oh, not to me. I don't know what
not to
you.
you. Oh, he would just
No,
bust out all the time. Oh, and by the way,
that
speaking,
never happened.
shout out to WKU. Big Red was there. For
All
all our
right.
Western listeners,
Um,
they just lost their minds.
well, either way, I am very happy for him. I wish I could have gone. I really wanted to see his wedding because he was my roommate he was one of my really good friends throughout college, and we lived together. And I'm bummed that I couldn't go, but I'm glad that it was a good wedding. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I went to two weddings this weekend.
Actually, really? Wow, we gotta get
Yeah,
to the show.
one on Friday, one on Saturday.
Who got married on Friday?
Her name was Grace Ammer. She worked in McCormick whenever we lived there.
Oh,
She was in the
Grace.
desk
Yeah, I
boy.
know her.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
She
know
got
her.
married.
Desk people. Come on.
What?
No. So when I was living in that house with Cameron at that apartment was when the whole haunted mirror thing happened, and Charlie, who was one of the other roommates, was in Nashville this weekend, and we were talking, and then I remembered that about a year after we had moved out of the house, like the apartment, the porch had collapsed. And if
Oh,
you
yeah, yeah.
remember, the porch at the haunted house collapsed too.
Yep.
Like they both collapsed in similar ways. Where like the front porch collapsed and the awning on top of it collapsed. But granted, people still lived in the apartment, so they went and like fixed it. But I remember walking down the street and seeing like, oh man, the front of the house just like fell off. And then also at the haunted house, the front of the house fell off. So I think it's clear to say that the ghost is haunting the house and not me, which is good.
That's very happy. but not for the people that live
And we'll
there. But I'm glad you escaped the curse.
no. Yeah. Um, but yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, good.
So good.
Glad. I'm glad you're not haunted.
I'll cut it. It's stupid. Go ahead.
So every week, Sam and I send each other a puzzle for that I want to solve. And Sam, I sent you a puzzle this week, and would you like to describe it?
Sure. You sent me a picture of a big stone, and on it in chalk, you wrote a series of symbols that are like one long line and then some little curvy lines off of them. And there are 9 symbols, all with varying numbers of curvy lines. So does that make
Yeah.
sense? Okay.
And do you know what those are called?
They're called runes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And having that knowledge, and also I sent you a message with it, and could you please read that message?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you also gave me clues to pretty much the whole puzzle in just the message.
Exactly.
So Zach sent me this message that is in like a stereotypical Swedish accent, and it says, "Oh gosh."
Say it. Say it.
No, I'm not going to do this. It says, "Sam, this is a rune cipher from Sweden." That's what it says.
Man, I spent so much time working on that. I
Well,
should have known.
how would you pronounce it?
Well, it's the idea is well, I wrote it as if I was a character. You know what character I was?
Who?
A Swedish chef from Muppets.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's seemed these are Rudy Safer from Sweden.
Yeah, there's no way I'm doing that.
Our Swedish listeners are pissed. They're like, I'm out of here. This podcast is nationalist. I hate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially that's what I sent you. And with that in mind, did you solve the puzzle?
Well, I have a question for you. Is
Mhm.
the answer in English? No.
It is. The answer is in English. But getting to the English part is going to take a little bit of translation.
Oh, you garbage face. So are you
Yep.
telling me that at some point I get a bunch of Swedish words?
Yep. Well,
Then yes, I did solve it. I still speak Swedish.
you at some point get a bunch of Old Norse words.
I was like pre-pissed about this because I solved it and then was like, either I'm doing this wrong or these aren't in English, and he expects me to somehow figure. Because here's the problem. Okay, listeners, at some point we will get letters that are not from the the Latin alphabet. So you can't type them into a computer. So if you're trying to translate them, you can't type them into a computer to figure out what they say. So unless I don't know, learned Swedish, there was no, or Norse or Icelandic or whatever these characters are, it was like, oh, unless this is the answer, I'm not gonna get. This is like when you expect me to learn how to like listen to music by ear. Like, oh well, I'm never gonna be able to do that.
Now, this
3 days.
While I was writing this, it seemed very much up your alley. Like to
learn Swedish.
No. Okay,
Whatever.
well, you essentially so I wanted you to learn some Swedish words. In one of our episodes, you wanted me to learn computer code.
But computer code you can type on a keyboard.
I mean, yes, but getting the internet is infinite, and getting
my keyboard isn't. I only have so many keys, and none of them are Norse symbols.
Typing in the way to get these symbols would not be that hard.
Pissed. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Okay, well, we will get to that when we get to that.
Well, then maybe I have solved it. I think there's a couple. There's some. Also, the puzzle you sent me, there are like lots of variations. So
yes, this puzzle is much like the previous things I've done, is going to be a doozy in that I was much more interested in the history of it, and because of this, I wrote the puzzle second, and I was like, oh man, because
Right.
there's the rune ciphers are very much up to interpretation in a very strange way, but we'll get to that throughout the episode.
So I'm actually sitting here with my notebook. I have 8 answers.
Okay, good.
Because there's 8 permutations of what this could be between like, oh well, if it goes this way, it'll be that, whatever. You'll explain it, but there's 8 different versions of what it could be, and so maybe I have the answer.
Is what you got? Is it in? Are they just like crazy symbols?
No. I mean, there's a P that has a thing. It has like an extra little stem on the top. There's an A with a tilde over it, and that's it as far as weird symbols. But I couldn't type either of those in, so I couldn't and every answer has one of those 2 in there. So it's like, well, is that right? Is that where I should be?
Yeah. I do not know. Hold on. Off the record.
It's just you, me, and Sophie, so it doesn't matter.
This is you, me, and Sophie. Is one of them MUNA? Is that one of them?
MUN? No, there's LUNA. Luna came up a bunch. Luna Balmy.
Okay, that will happen. Yeah. So there's several ways to do this. And the one I sent you, it's going to be not LUNA, but it's going to be MUNA. And that being, let's see, what's the symbol? What's the what's the symbol for M? Hold on, because I remember when I was doing my research, there was a lot of times that symbols overlap, and they, it's like this could be this or this could be this, and I was like, well, then how did you translate it? It's like, trial and error. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Let's see.
Whatever. Check it later. The point is, I didn't solve the puzzle, but also, you're dumb. I'm just kidding. You're not dumb.
Well, I mean, I got to stay on brand. I got to stay on brand for that hard left turn. So
no, okay. What? How about next time you can tape a keyboard to my door?
A keyboard with old runic symbols on it. Yeah, I'll find one of those at some Salvation Army.
The next Kanye West concert you come to.
Yeah, the next Kanye West concert I go to, you will expect an old keyboard with runic symbols on it.
I will expect. Okay.
So to get into the explanation, what I sent you is, you got it exactly right. It's a runestone. And runestones are boulders or bedrock that have been encrypted with runes. And runes are a Germanic alphabet before those tribes got united and they adopted the Latin alphabet.
Now wait a minute.
One thing we talked about is
which one will make my smithing ability higher? Which one is that?
Which one will make your smithing ability higher?
Yeah.
Is this if this is a RuneScape reference, I'm gone.
Oh well, that was it. Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that as I was writing this episode. I was like, man, it'd be really cool if I had played RuneScape, because I would be able to chalk in some sweet references.
I have a lot of copper ore and iron ore, and I'm wondering how I can get this into.
No understanding. Do not know anything about RuneScape.
I was really ready for a lot of RuneScape jokes, but
I was ready to write them, but I kind of I remember people playing RuneScape whenever I was younger, but I never got into it because I just do not like fantasy things. The same reason why I've never played Skyrim. I don't know what. Yeah,
my roommates and I last year, we had all decided, we never did this, but we had all decided at 23 years old, we were all going to start playing RuneScape again because it was hilarious. That we were these grown adults with college educations, so we were going to play RuneScape, but we didn't because we were grown adults with college education, so we didn't do it.
Yeah. If you want to make RuneScape references, go for it, but I will not know how to do them. I will not know any. Okay.
I'm not going
to. So the reason why there is a lot of variations is because there was a lot of different tribes, and when they all adopted the Latin alphabet, it kind of put things in uniformity. But before then, there's a lot of variations because of the different dialects the tribes would speak. Runestones were often used as memorials to dead men in a time period between the 4th and the 12th century in areas primarily in Scandinavia. The tradition of runestones is mentioned in the hold on. Here we go. This is the first of the words. There is a bunch of words that I'm gonna pronounce so horribly.
This episode is gonna be a 4-hour slog, isn't it? This is gonna be 4 hours of like, oh my god, I need this to be over. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna do this
for me.
Yeah. I'll learn Swedish. You buy a Swedish keyboard, and then I'm pretty sure that'll happen all around the same time.
So angry.
Here we go. The tradition of runestones is mentioned in the Ynglinga, which is essentially like the Nordic Odyssey. It has a lot of the characters you would think that would be in there, like Thor and Odin and the other gods, and how they interact with humans. Much like in Homer's Odyssey, where it's like the gods interacting with the humans and like dishing out punishments and favor based on how the humans act with value and things.
Sure.
But in the Ynglinga, it says, for men of consequence, a mound should be raised to their memory, and for all other warriors who have been distinguished for manhood, a standing stone. A custom remained long after Odin's time. So that essentially is the first time that we see runestones written out in literature. But by the time that the Ynglinga saga was written, it was already in huge practice. And one of the reasons why I was in huge practice was because of this really, really prominent king in Denmark, a king in the 60s, the 960s. And he was this king who was well known for uniting all of the tribes in Sweden, in Denmark. And after he united them, he converted to Christianity, and he had been baptized. And after that, a lot of people, in wanting to act like the king, they also became Christians. And this king was a rock star. So everyone wanted to be him. Everyone looked up to him. And because of this, they also started constructing their own runestones for their fallen heroes and for their people that they thought deserved runestones, which is where the majority of them happened after this king. And this king's name was, get this, King Harold Bluetooth. Like Bluetooth. Like the Bluetooth you're thinking of is where it comes from, this king. So
did he talk about bootstrapping his vertical a lot? Like why was Bluetooth named after him? Was he really interested in making sure we got boots on the ground before the runway ran out?
What are you talking about?
Biz dev. So like the kind of people that have Bluetooth headsets and walk around talking Bluetooth headsets are really interesting in cornering that vertical.
Yep. Okay. But no. Think of the Bluetooth symbol, and if you don't know what it looks like, you can look it up really quick. And the Bluetooth symbol that we all recognize on our phones and on douchebags headsets are. The symbol is a runic symbol. It is an old Germanic symbol, and it is a combination of his initials, H and B. And the H and the B, so the H of the runic alphabet looks like a line with like an X in the middle of it, and the B just looks like a really sharp B. Like imagine a B you would write in middle school because you were edgy. Like that's the kind of B that B looks like. You know those S's you would draw? Like imagine like a B you would draw after that. Yeah. I mean your name is Sam, so I imagine those S's were the only thing you wrote.
It came up.
The only S I have in my name is the S in Johnson.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be like ZACHJO and then like a really cool SON. And I thought I was the man.
Nothing is more punk rock than the last name Johnson.
Yeah. Nothing says down with the government. Nothing says rage against the machine like Johnson.
Yep.
Smith
has an S in it.
Smith also, yeah.
My name's John Smith. I wear a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Um, but you put these two symbols together, and it makes the Bluetooth symbol, which I thought was really interesting. And most of these, or a good amount of these runic symbols, will have this type of cipher in it, where it's essentially, it's not necessarily cipher, it's just two letters combined into one symbol. But I sent you a different type of cipher. We'll get into that towards the end. But anyway, the name Bluetooth came from this king because the king connected the tribes.
Oh.
Get it? That is actually the real reason, because I looked it up and they were like, yeah, it's like because he connected them and we connect people. And I was like, you guys are nerds. And side note, just because I can't go a week without mentioning this, between 1864 and 1872, this tiny island in the middle of the Baltic Sea named Hidden Sea, which is hilarious because it's hidden sea, was hit by these massive floods. So massive, in fact, that it essentially tore the island into two pieces. And while they were like saving the island, while they were trying to like get all the water out, they found this cave that had a giant treasure in it.
Okay.
And they found 600 grams of gold, a bunch of jewelry, and they found that this treasure belonged to Bluetooth himself. And it like equated out to be about 700 mil, or let me try that again. It equated out to be 70 million euros like worth of gold. Just in this cave. So yeah, because I can't go a week without mentioning treasure and pirates and things. That's the treasure segment for this week. Got to keep on brand.
Keep on brand.
But I digress. So back to the stones. There are about 3,000 rune stones in Scandinavia, and about 25,000 of them are located in Sweden specifically. But they have been found in places like England, Scotland, and Eastern Europe. And the stone's purpose was to mark territory, explain inheritance, boast about construction. So if they had like a big construction project, they'd have a stone and they would say like who built this thing, why they built it, and they would kind of give a story for how heroic they were in building it. Like a rune stones were like, imagine if tombstones were just filled with like not even like just super bragging on yourself, but it was other people bragging on other people. And it's like, imagine every tombstone just saying in great detail how heroic and how amazing you were. Instead of being like beloved son, it'd be like the king of the seas and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah. But so in that, they were mostly there to bring glory to the dead and to tell their stories. Here we go. Here we go. This is the second of these super words. Stiff. Okay. Shoot. The most famous of these stones is called the Rook Stin, and Stin just means stone, so it's the Rook stone, and it's called that because it's located in the town of Rook. And it's the most famous of these stones because it's the longest, and it is arguably the beginning of all Swedish literature. And quick reminder, it's a rock, it's a stone, and it is counted as the beginning of the written Swedish language. And it's written all in these like runic symbols, like the one that I sent you. In fact, they use the symbols that I sent you in telling this story. And it was built into the wall of a church, and it probably originates around the 9th century, and was written with these special cipher runes. And the stone tells the story of a dead son. So a father wrote about a dead son who was the chief of the Sea Warriors, and he now sits on a horse in what can only be described as Valhalla. And the stone makes several references to the Norse gods, primarily Thor. They make a lot of references to Thor. And folk heroes like Theodoric the Great. So the stone kind of like tells this story of his son while also peppering in these references of gods and folk heroes, which was yet another big purpose of the stones, was to encapsulate and celebrate legends. One of my favorite of these legends was this guy named Sigurd, the Dragon Slayer, who was in the profession of dragon slaying. And he has his story carved into this rune, and it's really, really cool if you look into it. Like if you just look up like Sigurd the Dragon Slayer's runestone, it's a series of pictures depicting his adventures of him slaying this dragon, and it's inscripted with who he is and why he's important in this border. And so the entire picture is being bordered with these runic ciphers telling who he was. And in like, okay, this is gonna be hard to explain, but Here we go. The border of this is written all in runic cipher, and the border is written on top of a dragon. So the entire picture of his adventures is being circled by this dragon that kind of loops around, and he's fighting it. But inside, like on top of the dragon, is written like his story, all in these like ciphers, and it kind of looks like they're scales and not words. It's really cool. You should look it up if you get the chance. And that's my favorite. That's my favorite of the rune stones I found in all of my extensive research.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. Oh, dope. Wait, what? Oh, so it's like a Chinese dragon. It's not like a. It's a.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like what you would think
serpent.
of like a big medieval dragon. Yeah.
What are those dragons?
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
wraiths? A
I don't
wraith
know.
is the big one.
No, I think a wraith.
A verm.
The only reason I know this is because it was on Imgur a few days ago. It was like explaining all the dragons, and I think a wraith is a dragon that has 2 legs and only wings. And I think a dragon has 4 legs and wings, but a wraith has 2 legs and wings.
And the serpents don't have any legs.
Yeah, they don't have any legs, but they don't have any legs, but they can fly. Just based on.
What's a verm?
I do not know. I did not play RuneScape. I already told you.
No, I know. No, it's like WYRM. Worm? Verm?
WYRM.
This is another. This is going to be another Richard Wagner thing where I'm probably saying it wrong in the other way, where it's just worm, but I'm overcompensating and saying verm.
I think a worm is. Maybe it's a dragon that only has wings and like no legs. I do not know.
I do not know.
I am not. I'm not in the business of slaying dragons, so I do not have to have this information offhand.
Here it is.
Are you looking up different dragons?
Worms. Worms. Worms.
Does it say what it is? Stop it. Does it say what it is?
Worms.
Stop.
Worms.
Oh my gosh.
Was that helpful?
Yeah, it was super helpful. I don't know what they are though.
They kind of look like all the other dragons. I really couldn't tell what physically made them look any different.
Man, some of our listeners that are dragon experts are just like fuming.
They look. I don't understand how they're different from a drake. That's a kind of dragon.
That's a rapper.
Well, I literally cannot tell the difference between these dragons. I have no idea.
Does one of them have? I think
it's
based on how many legs they have.
There are Chinese dragons that have no legs, or like little tiny Dragon Ball Z dragon legs.
Good. That's.
Or
someone in the world just shouted Shinron out like to the nothing.
He is not a
Shinron, you idiot! I hate this podcast.
But I understand. It seems like there's drakes and Shinron, and those seem to be the only kind of dragons to me.
Okay.
We can keep doing this show now.
Yeah, we can. Oh, I thought we were doing a new show where we talk about dragons. I thought that was all right. I thought this was like, you know how sometimes TV shows have what they call like backdoor pilots,
Vehemence.
where like they just use an episode of one show to like.
Vehemence.
I hate you so much.
Sorry, what were you saying? What were you saying about backdoor pilots?
Yeah, this episode is just.
Are you just,
This episode is our backdoor pilot to our dragon podcast.
is that like Jessica Jones? I actually don't know any kind of shows that do that other than
Like
Marvel
I don't
Netflix
know-
right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen like. I'm really going to show my hand here. Have you ever seen Arrow?
No.
Okay, well, on an episode of Arrow, the Flash becomes the Flash, and they like use that to put him off into his own series.
Okay.
And the same thing with like there was an episode of The Office where originally The Office was going to have a spinoff called The Farm, where Dwight was going to leave the office and do his own show.
No.
And they have this episode where it just the entire episode only follows Dwight on the farm, and there's no other characters. It's just him on the farm doing stuff. And they were going to use that to like gain interest in the show, but everyone rightly was like, that show would suck. We're not going to watch it.
An episode of The Office was just Dwight on the farm?
Yeah.
What did he do on the farm? I've seen every episode. What did he do?
He was like, you know, doing Dwight stuff. I think like the other characters were there. It was
it was when he met that girl.
yeah, something like that. And I
There was
think
a
they were gonna like
funeral
use like,
for-
yeah, that's why they kind of like they introduced new characters and stuff. Like this character would be on the new show and things like that. Like
This
it
can't-
would
this
follow
can't
their
be interesting.
misadventures.
This cannot
Huh?
be interesting.
Oh yeah,
What
too.
we're- We have to get back on track.
So, geez. Other stones depict the tales of like the gods. Like I said, they depict the tales of like Thor and all of his wacky adventures with Captain America and the Hulk.
Sure.
And the best part, the best part about all of these stones is that they're still just around. They were used to mark territory and to boast by construction, as I said earlier. And the people that have found these stones have respected them in that they rarely move them. Most of the stones that were found are still where they are today. They're not in museums. They're just outside, and they are still marking territories and honoring their fallen heroes, which brings us to the puzzle. So the puzzle I sent you is one of those rune stones, and I used it kind of like in this shape of a tombstone. That was a complete accident. That was just a stone that I found in my backyard that would just happen to be perfect. So these stones were famously deciphered by many Icelandic scholars during the 17th and 18th centuries. And in this book I found, they were deciphered primarily in this book called Runology. And in this book, the author found that the letters of the Futhark alphabet, and the Futhark alphabet is just the oldest alphabet in it was used in the Viking Age, and it was the oldest alphabet. And he found that the alphabet of all 24 letters was divided into 3 groups called Eights, which is AETTS, and it's not AT. It's like, I don't know what it's called, but it's when the A and the E are combined into one super letter. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
Huh?
I was just saying, yeah, like I've seen that.
I thought you said the name of it, and I was going to be really impressed.
Nope.
And the Eights are the Freyr, the Hagel, and the Tor. Those are the 3 things they're divided in. And each Eight has 3 letters. And this is the basis for decoding what I sent you, which is called a twig rune. And the reason why it's called a twig rune is because if you look at the cipher, you'll see that the symbols just look kind of like trees. And the letters are determined by on what side of the line the twigs are.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Are you going to say something?
Well, no, I was going to explain it, but go ahead.
And as I said earlier to Sam, this is definitely one. This cipher was one that I wrote using a lot of different information because if you try to look at this and you went to the Wikipedia page, you will see that there was no way to decipher this out on just the Wikipedia page.
And you know what? Every other article on it on the internet is literally just the scraped Wikipedia page. It is every article is just a word for word rip from the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that was
frustrating.
I'm so glad you noticed that because I was gonna say that to you like off record, but I didn't want to be like on the podcast, be like, oh hey, by the way, like no one is doing research on this. Like everyone's just like, oh yeah, that sounds good.
Like legitimately, this episode of this podcast might be the most comprehensive explanation on the internet.
Man, I can't wait to get the medal or whatever.
Yeah, well, the Cryptology Association will definitely be proud of us for it. Is that what it's called? Association of Cryptograms? Probably not Association of Cryptograms.
The American Cryptogram Association. Come on, we are about to be like gold star members of this organization.
Are you sure it's not Cryptographer Association?
I'm pretty sure it's American Cryptogram Association.
It's an association of cryptograms?
Yeah, you know.
You see why that doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
I might be making fun of the group that we may be joining. That might also be a scam. Based on your explanation.
Yeah, no, it's called the American Cryptogram Association. It's the Association of Cryptograms. Oh, man.
All right, well.
Moving on to this very comprehensive study of this. So because the information on this is so sporadic and so all over the place, I actually did you a favor, Sam, and I will do the audience a favor as well. And also as an effort to get in contact with you guys more. I used all of the websites and articles that I did research on this with, and I sent it to you, Sam, in an email.
Did you?
And it is on I sent it to the Solve It email address. And for members of our audience that want to get in contact with us, or after you hear how this is done, how they hear this is written, if you want to write your own ciphers in this way, you can email us it's solveitpodcast@gmail.com, and I'll send you that link so that you can write these ciphers on your own. And that is a shameless plug for me to get more involved with our fan base, our steadily growing fan base, which still I do not know where they're coming from or who they are.
Our fan base is like a ghost in a horror movie. It's getting a larger and larger presence, but still not making itself known. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is. I know there are more people, but they are not reaching out in any way.
Yeah. So if
I do not know who they are.
We do not know who you are.
Much like the demon in my old apartment. Slowly growing in power without ever quite making itself known.
For those of you keeping score, Sam if you're a fan of this podcast, Sam just referred to you as a demon that lived in his old apartment.
Yep. I'm doubling down on that.
Yeah.
I take no scoffs from you. I will die with that.
Sam Cherry takes no scoffs.
Takes no scoffs. Go ahead.
So once again,
that is a future cut. That's not a deep cut. That is a future cut to a joke people won't get until weeks from now when we put out the thing about no scoffs.
Oh yeah, man, that's called a head reference to a joke we haven't made yet,
or that we've made that you haven't heard yet.
Yeah, pay attention. This episode takes there's a lot of work here.
Zach, I'm pretty sure we're unbearable humans. I think that you and I might be unbearable.
We definitely are.
Literally unable to be bared.
This is definitely off the record. Okay. Have you, and this is something that I look forward to so much with every day. Okay. Have you ever seen me and Nolan dance to Spark the Fire by Gwen Stefani?
God, no, but I want that so badly.
Okay. So that
I've seen
song
you
is
and
like,
Nolan dance a bunch.
yeah. Okay, so that song's like 4 minutes long,
Okay.
and every time that song comes on, I will tell you exactly what happens, and it's amazing every time. Nolan and I just like flail around out of control,
Sure.
and eventually, within like probably the first minute, people start to notice, and they start to make a giant circle around us. And the song is 4 minutes long, and Nolan and I are not doing anything impressive, and we are not
Sure.
stopping for anything. And so
Sure.
it's like you can see the crowd's reaction. Like they're like, "Whoa!" And then like after like 2 full minutes of us like doing this thing, there's like a minute left, and everyone is like completely over it. Like they hate us.
Yeah.
Like we are taking up the entire dance floor, being incredibly obnoxious. And then they like towards like the last like few minutes, everyone kind of like turns away and like does their own thing, and Nolan and I are still just like flailing around the entire dance floor. It is
Do you remember?
no now, and I was gonna say, me and you have a
Same
similar
story.
thing, which is to "Sail" by AWOL Nation.
Well, and it wasn't a thing. It was just fun to dance to.
Yeah.
But
And then,
yeah,
'cause the thing is, eventually, whenever people like see you doing something that's
yeah,
different, they like it's their fault for making a circle
yeah.
around
It's a
us.
dance circle immediately. Like it would
Because
come
they make
on
a circle
like,
and like
oh, and then everyone would be like, oh, they're gonna do a thing. And I remember at one point you looked at. It was at a specific party where this happened because it like happened more than once. We were
it
at a party
definitely
and that
did.
song came on and you and I were dancing, and everyone started moving and you looked at them and said, "We're not doing a thing," because the thing was like it was just silly dancing.
Yeah.
So like we couldn't keep it up. It wasn't. It was like no, we're just dancing, just like you all are dancing.
Yeah.
It's happening. Do you remember the time that before danced to Shark Attack?
Yay. Yep. That is my favorite thing on earth. And also, like, I mean, maybe it's just whenever, especially you, me, and Nolan, we get together, it's just like we are a speeding train that is out of control, and we're not stopping for anyone. Like
No.
we read your social cues. We know we're being obnoxious. Is
And
that
we
going to
take no
stop us?
stops.
Absolutely not. Like we are going to
No.
keep this going forever if we have
Well,
to. Like that
okay,
one time
and then
that you came over to my house, and it was just me and you arguing about should we kill baby Hitler, and it was just like us arguing about that for a really long time, not interacting with anyone else at the house. And then later on, we're just like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, yeah, we saw you in here, but we were not
yeah.
stopping our conversation for anything because we are unbearable.
This is also a story that just seems like a different person had inhabited my body because this does not sound like a thing that I would ever do. There was a small sliver of time in college. I at parties, and this what's crazy is when people hear this, they're gonna think like, oh, I bet that went horribly. When we had like a big dance that we instructed the rest of the room how to do,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
That was a thing I did in my life. It was, and again, these are not like frat parties, just so we're clear. But like this is like the college ministry we were a part of would have like dance parties, and they were dance parties, and they were fun, and we go to people's houses and play music and have a dance party. Where somehow we had fallen into the role of like leading this big dance.
Yep.
It was weird.
It was that song that it was the San Francisco by Mogils, but it was like a remix of it.
But it was something we'd inherited from Andrew Yance.
Yeah, it really was. Or it was either something we inherited or something we stole because we wanted to be cool. Let me rephrase that. Something I stole because I wanted to be cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't really remember how I became part of that. Where like that just does not sound like me to
Yeah.
direct a dance. But it
I
happened.
think that I kind of pulled you into it because you were the only other person that knew what was happening.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, this is the part where we all slow down. This is all the part where we all go crazy. This is the part where we all like do like side steps. Yeah, I know what's going on.
Point is if you're at a party and two people are doing a silly dance and they have not like made it apparent they want a dance circle, just leave them alone.
Also,
Leave them alone.
for that reference, or for that, stop making dance circles.
Stop.
The dance circles
Never make a dance circle.
never make a dance circle.
Never make a dance
dance
circle.
circle.
They're
Dance
awful.
circles are the bane of my existence. Because
We're not in a Step Up movie. We all don't know how to dance. Like, what do you think is gonna one person's gonna try to do the worm, someone's gonna dap, and we're all gonna hate it.
Yeah, no, and the worst part is like, so everyone's in this dance circle, and then like the majority of the dance circle is watching an empty circle, and it's kind of like bouncing up and down, and
I'm thinking, man, I want this to be over.
yeah, that's everyone's thought is like, because like
Awful.
the thing is, you cannot do anything except bob up and down in the dance circle, because if you start to do any type of dance, you will immediately be pushed into the dance circle.
Yeah.
For the amusement of everyone. And because this happens so frequently at the parties that we would go to, I had like 2 or 3 dances that I would just instinctively do when I was pushing into these dance circles. But the thing is, at some of the parties we went to, like, there were 4 or 5 instances where people would make dance circles, and they all went the exact horrible way. And like, we never learned our lesson that these are unbearable.
You know the only cure for a dance circle?
What?
Playing a Taylor Swift song. It's the only way to fix it.
Oh, yeah, no, that really should be like the DJ should just very much like be aware of what's happening, and like the Dougie comes on or something, and then a dance circle happens, immediately switch over to 22 by Taylor Swift immediately. And then like that
now, because all the girls are gonna scream. They're all gonna actually want to dance, and the dance circle will dissipate. And if I have to listen to Shake It Off 15 times that night, that's okay. I can deal with it. I'll take that. I can deal with it.
I'll take Shake It Off 15 times over one dance circle.
Never make a dance circle.
Never make a dance circle. I don't know what. God, yeah, like, because that's the thing.
Has it ever been good? Has it ever been good once?
Has it ever turned out well
once?
No, yeah, like, and also this is another thing that happened. This is another thing that happened at Cameron's wedding, which, oh man, this is.
How many were there? Lots of dance circles.
No, there was a bunch of dance circles, and one of them was great because it happened because Alan Black was doing a silly dance, and then everyone just kind of like went around him, and Alan was like, "Oh no."
This is fun for our most of our listeners who don't know who any of these characters are, but go ahead.
And
Andrew,
he's just
whatever.
For those who don't know Alan Black, for the no one that will hear this, Alan Black is a very sweet Southern boy that wants to please every single human he has ever met. And so because of this, he was forced to like remain in this dance circle doing the same dance over and over and over again. And it was amazing. Now, here's the thing, because I will brag on myself. I believe I'm a pretty good dancer.
You have dancing pants.
I do have dancing pants. I have dancing pants specifically for dancing occasions.
You have pants that I can spot you from across the parking lot and go, "Oh, Zach's gonna go dance," because Zach is wearing his dancing pants.
Zach's wearing his dance pants. Yes. So I was at the wedding, and I consider myself a good dancer, and because of this, I'm just existing, and I'm doing my dances. People notice it, and then what'll happen to me, especially, I don't know if this is happening to everyone else, but somebody will notice another person that just has a sense of rhythm, and they will kind of, for no reason, because both me and this person are just trying to live our lives and exist and be the good dancers that we are in our own space. Some person will scream dance off and then shove me and this other person into a already established dance circle where I must
they knew it was coming.
Where I must now compete with a thing that I like. The thing I like doing is now a nightmare, because I was just kind of moving around, and now I need to be doing predetermined dances for the amusement of this dance circle.
You know how you go ahead.
The thing that you'll love the most about this dance circle, Sam, was that I was in a dance contest with none other than, and I couldn't win. I was in a dance contest with none other than Big Red.
Oh, that is
people
all.
People shoved me into a dance off with Big Red. What was I supposed
mascot.
to do? Yeah, what was I supposed to? Yeah, our the WKU mascot, which if you don't know what he looks like, look him up. He's just essentially this giant red blob of joy and happiness and everything that's right with the world.
Well, okay. You know what?
And
I don't like mascots, so I'm
Big Red didn't do this, but honestly, all Big Red would have had to do is just like one of Big Red's bits is that Big Red like makes his mouth really big and like pretends to eat people. If he just did that, it would have been over, and then we would have both been free of the horrible dance circle that had happened. But no, Big Red challenged me, and I lost because I'm not going to beat Big Red. And then.
You know how you get out of that problem?
It was horrible. What? How do you leave?
If someone puts you in a dance circle with somebody else, you attack them violently. Just lose it. Gladiator style.
Yeah, I was
go straight for the eye.
Because for those that
lose your mind. Because no one will ever do. Why did we do that? Zach's out of his mind. Just attack them physically, and they'll be like, "We are never doing that again."
Yeah. That's actually
a process, but it will get rid of dance circles, and that's really what we need.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Sam brings a homemade shiv to every single party he goes to.
That's why I'm never in case this
happens. Yeah. Yeah, don't do dance circles. They trigger Sam Cherry. He will lose his mind. It will be so bad. Just do not do them.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so terrible. Should we do a show about puzzles or?
Yeah, I think that I've been meaning to do a podcast about puzzles with you. If you're interested, Matt.
Tell me how to solve this puzzle.
Okay. So as I said, I sent you all of this information, and man, how did we get off on that tangent? Forget it. I sent you all of this information, and it's in our Solve It email right now. And as I said, finding it was a little difficult, but I was able to find a pretty well-established grid of the three ites. And it was on this website if you want to follow along, and like if you don't want the email, you just want to follow along in your own way. If you Google cipher runes, it'll be this one that is called the Witch's Library. And they have a pretty concise grid of how to follow the twig cipher. So the way it works is there are 3 rows and 8 columns. And the ites, which are the rows, are what determines the left side of the tree. And the columns are what determines the right side of the tree. So, for example, if there was 2 lines on the right side, the 2 lines on the... Wait, did I say right? Oh, man, I think I messed that up.
I'll just do it again.
So you will see a grid, and the ites are the rows, and the ites determine what is on the left side of the tree, quote unquote. And the columns, and there are 8 of those, they determine what is on the right side of the tree. So, for example, if you have 2 lines on the left side of the tree and 4 lines on the right side of the tree, you would just go down 2 ites, and then you would find the corresponding letter in the columns. Does that make sense, Sam?
Yes. There's more than 6. Sorry, when there's more than 7 lines.
I mean, it's the grid is 3 by 8. Or at least it should be.
I think what I understood from the Wikipedia article was different. It had 3. So the Wikipedia article is not the same cipher.
It's not the same variation that I use. And the only reason I chose not to use the Wikipedia cipher was because I wanted to find the visual of the grid, because that was the only way that'd be really easy to solve it. There's another way to do it, and the other way to do it is to actually learn Swedish and be able to like read what is in the actual runology book that was written about this exact subject.
Right. That's what I had come. Oh well, then no, I didn't solve this puzzle at all. I retract what I said before.
Okay, well, yeah,
I used the version.
I
that was
kind of did
on-
explain because like there's so much just odd off information about this. And I think honestly, I really genuinely believe that one of the reasons why there is not a lot of information about this is because all the text written about it is in Swedish. And I just think that no one or very few people like took the time to like translate that like very old Swedish over to English to like make a easy way to understand it. So there's just a lot of information where they'll be like something will say, yeah, it's like this, and they will never say how to solve it or anything. It'll just be they'll talk about the system itself without actually talking about like the specifics of it.
Yeah.
But the one that I
Also, okay, I'm on that website.
is it doing that thing? Oh my gosh, is it doing the thing where it's like ending at 4?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I knew it was going to do that thing.
I think I saw this website before. Like I was already on this website, but I did not have
So
grid.
yeah, it goes like to 1, 2, 3, 4.
Correct.
And like the runes are super big.
Yep.
Okay, so what's happening there is I do not know what on God's green earth this website has done, but when I first looked at it, because I realized it started doing this a few days ago. When I first looked at it, it actually has all 8. It has the full like 3x8 grid, which is what I used to solve the puzzle. And now it's doing this thing where it's making each of the symbols like super big, and it can only fit 4 of them. But if you refresh it, it's funny because you can see that it's like 1 through 8 for like a split second, and then it just like gets really, really big. Which is unfortunate because I was kind of hoping it was just doing that with my computer.
So okay.
Well, criggity cuss.
How do I solve the puzzle?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things. Hey, nice. Hope it's Alex Jacob or Lindsay Jacobs. Safe.
Okay, we'll do. How will we go about this? Okay, so so the left side, or I'm sorry, yeah, on the left side, give you which grouping it's in. So I have those 3 groupings of letters.
Mm-hmm.
Right side, the number of ticks tells you like which letter in that group of letters it is. So for the first one, if it's 1, it's like, all right, it's the first group. 4 on the other side, so it's the 4th letter.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Let me look at my cipher really quick because I know there's at least 2. There's one that goes to 7. There's one that goes to 8.
Okay, the one that I had on the Wikipedia only has the 3 groups of a group of 6, a group of 5, and a group of 5. So there was none of that. So all of mine are wrong.
Good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can get through actually the you can get through the first 4 letters of the cipher.
Yeah.
Using my thing because it only goes to 4, and actually you'll only have trouble with 2 of them, and that's the one that has 7 on one side, the one that has 8 on the other side.
Okay.
And
so I should
guess
go back to that website.
Yeah. So if you see on the cipher that I sent you, it has like 1, 4, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, and the only ones you're gonna have trouble with are the first and the 4th first and the 4th symbol of the second word, if that makes sense.
How? Okay. I'm thinking for the audience, how are we gonna?
Yeah.
How can the audience solve the puzzle? What if you, while I'm solving the puzzle, why don't you just do like a rough and dirty version of it, like just draw it? I can, and then post it on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Also, one thing you'll notice
in the future.
Actually, before we go on, I'm gonna say this one thing. Yeah, because I'm gonna pitch it like I'm explaining it to you, like we're gonna go back and edit it through. Okay, here we go. I guess I gotta say this thing, or it's not gonna make sense.
Okay.
So, Sam, as you're solving this, one thing you might notice is that the rows are backwards. So it starts with 3, 2, 1. And the reason that is the author of the Runology book realized that they were reversed. So he took the first ite and the second he took the first ite and the third ite and he switched them. So one thing to be mindful of when you're writing the cipher and you're solving the cipher is that the rows go in descending order and not ascending order. So you'll see on the website it goes 3, 2, 1 instead of 1, 2, 3. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's very important to know whenever you're solving the cipher, so you don't get the wrong symbols.
Okay.
Okay, now back to you and I. Now back to you and I talking about how art is a lie. One thing we could do, is we could do also, the thing that you.
Official version. That's the unofficial name of the live show. So the show is called Solve It Podcast. Yeah. Live show is called Art is a Lie.
Yeah. Can you explain that to our audience?
Yes. Well, our only viewers? One person.
Okay, cool.
That's Sophie.
Hey, Sophie. One thing we could do is, and this could blow up directly in my face. Yeah, this is one of those, like, my naivety is going to get the best of me. We could just assume it will work later. And
no.
Okay, perfect. So do you want me to just want me to draw a rough version of it out? Okay. Fine. Bossy.
Sophie says, hey.
I'm kind of glad you didn't solve it because the answer is going to make you crap your pants.
Oh, gross.
Gonna make you spoil those jeans.
Well, I'm not wearing jeans.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing?
I'm wearing gray pants.
Hot.
Gross. So if it has 3 marks, I don't go 1. I go to the one that says third, right?
What?
I don't go to. So if it was, I wouldn't 3 ticks on it. I go to the one that says third it, not third.
Yeah, exactly.
One.
You go to the one that says third ite.
Right.
Exactly. Let's see. Hold on. I need to look at something really right quick. Oh, cuss.
What?
Oh, nothing. I made a slight mistake, but I can fix it. It's fine. I just in my notes, like not in the puzzle, but in my own personal notes, I made a typo with the cipher, which is like not a problem at all, but it's kind of annoying that I have to go through and try to solve my puzzle again just because I had a typo.
Okay, I am of them. I can't get.
Yeah. And I'll send you those as soon as I go to my other thing.
Also, the mobile version of this website gives us columns, so that's better.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Gmail. Send my email, Gmail. Wait, was that my own voice repeating myself?
Yeah, I accidentally
pulled
the headphones.
I was wondering. I was like, what?
Send my email, Gmail.
I thought you were just like repeating me in a mocking tone.
Oh, not this time.
Oh, man.
I think your microphone cut out. Yeah, Zach, I can't hear anything you're saying. This is going to make recording an audio show together pretty difficult if I can't hear any of the words that you're saying. And let me plug in my other headphones. Oh, well, Solve It listeners, Zach has left the podcast, so I'm going to try to do this.
What happened?
I don't know. What did happen?
I don't know what happened.
What happened?
Okay.
I turned off my computer.
So I was getting the email from Solve It Podcast thinking of my Gmail to get into the other Gmail, and when that happened, I cut myself out of the conversation.
Just fix it. Just fix it.
Okay.
Just fix it, Zach.
Got it.
I sent you another invite.
Okay.
Okay, just fix it. Okay, bye. This episode is going long. I bet this is fun to listen to. Playing this crisp, great audio. Two guys trying to figure out how Google Hangouts work. Invite. Oh, good. Now I have a telephone voice call from Zach. You G-chat me on my phone, which, as you can imagine, I'm going for. Gonna send him another. There he is. Hey, you're back.
All right, I'm back.
Were you listening to the YouTube while that was going on?
No.
Okay. It was me narrating our technical difficulties. Dude, it's been an hour and a half. We have to solve the puzzle, man.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So, do you want me to send you a picture?
So long.
Do you want me to send you a picture of the thing?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
just need those two other ones. And then put it on Twitter so that the viewers.
Okay, I might write a better one for the viewers. This one's kind of janky.
Oh.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it again later.
No, yeah, I will. But I'm texting you right now the picture. Okay, so I
Okay.
sent you the picture. And so the two symbols are missing are are two triangles kissing and a symbol but facing upward.
Is that like a cult thing or?
Yeah. It's like total against Christianity.
I lost my pencil. Oh, there it
Okay,
is.
but so essentially, yeah, I'll
Oh,
say okay.
yeah, don't send this to the viewers. Send them the chart. You just sent me the answer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to get the chart then. That'll be a little more difficult to do
Oh,
because
because
I
you
can't. Because I can't see the chart either.
Okay, then I guess we have to make do.
Yeah.
This is why we use the wiki.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is why we use the wiki.
we
But
use
when the wiki doesn't have a chart or a way to solve it, then I have to improvise.
You're right.
Wikipedia
Okay.
yet again letting me down. So, Sam, what you should get is just a collection of symbols, Nordic symbols. Is that right?
Yep.
Which obviously we need to translate. And in the email that I sent you, and I can send other viewers yet again, there is a link to a separate chart of how to solve this one. So you can pull that up, and it will show you the symbols that correspond to the Latin alphabet.
Oh. Okay, I'll pull that up. Obviously, the title of this episode. Well, you know the title of this episode.
What is it?
No, you know the title of this episode.
I do not know the title of this episode.
Never make dance circles.
Oh, if that makes the cut, I'll be super stoked. As I was explaining that, I was kind of expecting it to end up in an art is dead section. Or art is a lie.
Or it would be its own episode of Art is a Lie. Art is dead.
Yeah. Art is dead.
Old Norse to English online dictionary. How do I use this?
Wait, what are you talking about? No. The second link, Sam. The second link.
Also, what's the third link?
The third link is what you will use next.
So I'm translating 3 different languages, just so we're clear. I mean, that's fine. It's within the rules.
Yeah.
It's fine, but...
And the reason why you're translating 3 different languages is because because originally I was just going to have, I really wanted to have a specific answer. And
Sure.
To get to that answer, I had to do quite a collection of things. And the Nordic alphabet does not have the letters that the English alphabet does. So
Sure.
That's why I had to go from like down 3 tiers to get to it.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
But don't worry, you'll love the answer.
All I can imagine is that it will make me super angry.
Or yeah, I mean, what else would it be?
Okay, so what I've gotten as far as the Latin translation, although it does not seem like a word.
Well, it's not Latin. It's Old Norse.
Is it MHNADAHOI?
Hold on. Oh,
or maybe it's a U. One of the symbols.
No, it's okay. So yeah, that second one is a U.
Okay. So it's MUNADAUOI. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I'll go to this third length. Old Norse to English.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to do something.
I'm going to do it right now.
You can, but you can't, and I'll explain that right now.
Okay.
So, well, first off, I'm going to say this one thing. I'm going to pretend that you were writing that as I was saying this because we have to do these. And while Sam is solving the cipher, I want to encourage you guys to rate and review us on iTunes. And you can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Solve It Podcast, and on our website, solveitpodcast.com, and on our MySpace, and on any other silly social media site you think you should follow us on. And once again, if you want to learn how to do this puzzle and write it yourself, or you want to follow along with us in this way, email us, solveitpodcast@gmail.com. One, so you can get the way to write this puzzle, and two, so we can get in contact with you. So you guys will make yourselves known and be less like a demon that lives in Sam's apartment. So, Sam, now that you have the last part of it, I have to tell you one more thing, and then you'll be on the way. And this is going to very much annoy you because this is a part where you will need to get this symbol on a Wikipedia site and then like highlight it so you'll have the symbol for the rest of the word. That O is actually, yeah, I know. That O is actually not an O. It is a symbol called an F, which is an ETH. And if you look up an ETH, you will find the symbol. And it's a Scandinavian D. And you will kind of see that it kind of looks like a lowercase d, but the line above the D has a little X through it. It's a quirky looking symbol, but it's called an F. Once again, that is an ETH. And so it should be the MUNADO and then that symbol UI. And that will be the last part. And that is the last link that I sent you, which is the Old Norse to English. And if you type in, and what I would suggest you do to not confuse the search engine is to put in both those words separately so that it doesn't like confuse it. So
MUNA.
MUNA is one word because if you look at the runes, it's separate into 4 and then 5. So MUNA is one word, and well, it's called. I'll actually say it out for you. It's Muna Daidi. That's what it actually says out. So Muna Daidi. That is the Old Norse translation of what I sent you, and then whenever you put it into the thing, you will see what the actual real translation is.
I'm just trying to clarify what the letters were.
Muna, which is MUNA, and then Daidi. And Daidi is DA and then DAU, and then that symbol, and then I.
Okay, but I should type another D? What should I type before the I?
You have to go find that symbol, which is an F.
Oh, I have to copy that symbol from Wikipedia, because again, I don't have a Scandinavian keyboard. God, what do we even look up? Scandinavian letters?
No, you type in F, ETH.
Here. Okay.
And there's a Wikipedia for that symbol.
I see it. F Wikipedia. Okay, got it. Now I'm going to translate it.
Here we go.
Oh, wait a minute. I have to do them separately, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Muna, search. Oh my God. Remember.
Okay. So.
English. Deity, search. Death.
I'm going to say that out. So, as most of these memorials were of great heroes, I believe, like another group we talked about several weeks ago, the Vikings would want to impart some knowledge on their tombstones. And Sam, what knowledge would they want to impart to us?
Remember death.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much for joining us this week. Oh, shoot. Zach, you've got to think of outro jokes when you're writing the episodes. You've got to think of outro jokes when you're writing episodes.
I like the idea that you even write the episodes. I just make the puzzles and then like.
Oh, dude, I have a notebook and it is filled. Like it is. There's
mine's filled too, but it's with puzzles. It's full.
No,
of puzzles.
mine's all like history lessons and like most because this episode I have like things written and then I scribble like the translation of it next to it and I like highlight it like it's like all highlighted and like it's written in different pins and stuff so that I can like know where to go from which part and like when I should include this information and stuff like that. It's really involved and I never ever write the outro joke.
I mean, neither. That is another running joke on Art is a Lie is that we never write outro jokes.
That should just be like one of the things should just be a super cut of every time we're like, thanks so much for. Oh shoot, I didn't write an outro joke. Like every time we like start to go into the intro and then go like, dang it.
Which is every episode.
Which is every gosh darn episode.
Every episode since the first episode.
Like, yeah, I mean there was because
I wrote an outro joke. Wait, go ahead.
Because that was the thing. That should be the first time if you can find it. Was you originally pitching the outro joke to me, and both of us, in our complete naivety, were like, "Yeah, that'd be funny. We totally do that every week and not forget."
We could totally find all these puzzle movies.
Now yeah. Now I gotta. Gosh, most of I just like haven't seen these movies.
Well, me neither. Or I have, and they don't have puzzles in them.
Yeah. Like puzzles. Puzzles. Did you mean suspense thriller? No, I did not mean suspense thriller.
What about Saw? You know the movie Saw?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh, and it's also like close to Halloween. Perfect.
Like the thing about getting a key out of the bathtub before all the water runs out.
Is that from the first Saw?
Yeah, that's like the big twist at the end.
Okay, that sounds great. I'll teach you how to get a key out of the bathtub before all the water runs out.
Next week, Sam will teach you the importance of looking for keys. Before you let all the water run. That's terrible. That's terrible.
How about let me think.
That is a puzzle movie.
Yeah, it is a puzzle movie. Jeez Louise. In this list of movies about puzzles that I found, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is on it. What's the puzzle?
Death.
Have you ever seen Deja Vu?
No.
Okay, well that movie actually kind of has a buzz on it. Yeah, this next week Sam will teach you how. Sam will teach you a survival trick using only a key and a bathtub. Now, yeah. Okay, fine. That sucked. Well, that was good. Okay, I guess it was good.
We can work on it more. Sam will teach you
what's
the importance of
Sam
looking for keys in bathtubs when you're locked in a room. Dumb.
Sam will next week on Solve It, Sam will teach you how to stay safe this Halloween and what's the thing?
What you mean, putting a key in a bathtub? The key was in the bathtub the whole time. Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, I'm ruining this big part of the movie.
Whatever.
The point
I know the guy's alive the whole time, so I feel like that's the big twist.
Yeah, that one's a better twist. Okay, so you know how their legs are tied up or are chained up?
Yeah.
So there's this whole puzzle throughout the whole. Well, he wakes up in a bathtub and he's underwater, and he jumps out of the bathtub and pulls the drain, and all the water drains out.
Yeah.
Then they go through this whole movie of them following this puzzle using like infrared light and cigarettes and and all this stuff to try to figure out the end of the puzzle. And at the end of the puzzle, it'll tell them how to get out of the locks that are around their foot.
Yeah.
And sort of the alternate is, well, or you could saw your own foot off.
Yeah.
That's always your out. Or you could follow this puzzle.
Yeah.
But there's like a timer and family, blah, blah, blah. Well, at the end, there's like a tape recording of Jigsaw, and he explains to him, he's talking to him about it, and they do a flashback to when he gets out of the bathtub and he pulls his foot. One foot was chained up and the other foot was tied to the plug. So when he got up, it pulled the plug out, and the key the whole time, what could have saved him immediately, was in the bathtub. And so when he pulled it and all the water drained out, it took the key with it and it went down the pipes. So he always had to cut his foot off, because had he not cut his foot, or because there was no other way to get out of there, it was either cut your foot off or solve this puzzle. But the end of the puzzle is you were fucked from the beginning.
Okay.
Or technically the end of the puzzle is the key is in the bathtub, but surely at this point you have gotten out of the bathtub.
You've gotten the bathtub, yeah.
Right. So. What about next week? Sam will teach you that how to use cigarettes and infrared light to realize that the key was in the bathtub the whole time.
Yeah, that's good.
So people would get that. People would realize, like, oh, that's a Saw joke.
Yeah.
I need to ask Andrew, or just any viewer that we have, like anyone that regularly listens, like, hey,
you have a puzzle.
What do you think? No. What do you think the outro joke is? Like, what do you think we're doing there at the end?
Yeah, funny thing about that is one time it was Kate, our logo designer. She was like genuinely confused by it. Like I was asking her like how the episodes. I was like asking her how the episodes were going, and then she was like, "Yeah, one episode you said he was going to talk about Declaration of Independence, and then you guys never talk about Declaration of Independence."
That's really funny. But did she like ever figure out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, she figured it out, because I think I kind of explained it, which are the best jokes.
Yeah, people love when you explain jokes.
Yeah, they love it. Okay, here we go. Let's get this done. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining this week on Solve It. I'm Zach Johnson, co-hosting with Sam Cherry. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Solve It Podcast for puzzles and updates, and you can also find that information on our website, solveitpodcast.com, or on our MySpace or any other silly social media site you can think of. And make sure to get in contact with us on our email, gmail.com. What the heck? Make sure to get in contact with us at our email, solveitpodcast@gmail.com. And rate and review us on iTunes. It really helps us out a lot. Join us next week when Sam teaches us that. Oh my gosh. Join us next week when Sam teaches us how to use. Join us next week when Sam teaches us how to use cigarettes and infrared lights to find out that the key was in the bathtub the whole time. Thanks. Bye.
Done. Bow, 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 bow.